is get comfortable being a person who can hold that amount of wealth, reset your thermostat, and then sit there for a while until it feels normal. Then you can start investing. Then you can start doing.
Absolutely.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Yeah. The other point is, Chris, you spoke at the beginning about mindset, the mindset of the entrepreneur. And it's very important because we all go into business, and the first thing that we are thinking is, oh, I have this product and I want to make a lot of money. However, having this mindset is key in order to succeed. You shared the story with us that at the beginning you were doing low ticket products and you were making very little money, and sometimes it's something deeper in your psychology. This happened to me, happened to everyone, that okay, that we are not worth it of charge more, or we are not worth it of or do a business that makes more money. Nobody told us anyway how to do it, and maybe how to do with something in the childhood, something that happened in the past. But eventually, Chris, you realize that, wow, this thing is not working because I'm working a lot and saying low ticket products, and then I'm making very little money. I always say to people this analogy: what is more easy, to sell 1,000 bags for £1 or one bag for £1,000? You see clearly the bag for £1,000, because the effort is the same. You need to go through the whole process. Either the bag worth £1 or 1,000, you need to prospect. You need to find the right prospect, be in the right place, communicate the value of the product effectively. Not because the bag is worth £1 is gonna sell by itself. This is a wrong misconception. I have this experience during the credit crunch here in United Kingdom. My first business was a property. We managed to sell over 5 million. I remember that during the credit crunch, I have this idea to lower the prices of my rooms, and I create a huge problem. I lose literally over £1 million in that in that decision. Because at the credit crunch, and I'm thinking, okay, if I lower the price of the room, maybe people are gonna find it more affordable, and they can rent it, so I can deal with the vacancy rate that was higher than as usual because it was a credit crunch. However, I make it even worse because now I got my price lower, and still the problem that I have is lack of capacity to attract more clients, and lower the prices didn't solve this problem. For me, actually make it worse because now I have less capital to use it to put in marketing to attract clients. So it becomes this nightmare. So I did a research on the topic, tried to find out what actually happened, and I realized that only 20% of the people buy on price. The 80% of the people buy in volume. Otherwise, look, the cars that everybody's driving, the clothes that everybody's wearing, the phone that everybody has. However, the only thing that you buy cheaper is the thing that is not important for you. If you don't, if shoes are not important for you, you're gonna buy the cheapest pair of shoes. If car is not important for you, you will buy the cheapest car. So by you lowering your price, you're attracting the sector of the population that actually couldn't care less more about your product. So and then you have less capital. So it's very difficult position to be. Yet all of us entrepreneurs, when we start the business, we decide always that sell cheap is the best thing because clients we buy. So what is your view in price, Chris? Because you have been there. I also have been there. As that we have been in this mindset roller coaster of being involved, and to work with to price our product effectively, and learning how to communicate the value. But this also comes with the mindset as well, because you have this imposter syndrome, like, who am I to charge this much for this service? So how you navigate these challenges?
Yeah, I think with working with high value offers, like you said before, it just makes so much more sense, because it does take exactly the same amount of energy. In my opinion, it takes more energy to sell a low ticket product than it does a high ticket product,
Absolutely.
because you don't, like, a low ticket product, it is what it is, doesn't necessarily have a huge amount of value, which is why it's low ticket. So when you're promoting, when you're selling, when you're marketing, you don't have much to go with. Like, you literally just have features, and that's about it. Whereas when you're working with high ticket offers, the reason they are high ticket and the reason they are high value is because they actually have a lot of value behind them. And if they have a lot of value behind them, it's very easy to sell, it's very easy to market to the right people. And actually what becomes important is not so much the number attached to that thing. It's more important to get your marketing dialed in to find the right person who it's an absolute no-brainer decision for. And in terms of the mindset around working with high ticket products, I think it's something that you just have to step into and just start to know your worth. Because why wouldn't you be like, why shouldn't you get paid that much money? It's only because we've grown up in a society which teaches us that we have to be grateful for what we receive, and we grow up in schools that teach us how to become employees and get paid a certain amount every single month, and that our time and our energy is worth a certain amount. So for most people in the UK, that's like between £9 and £12 per hour. So it's just a shift between, okay, my time and my energy is worth £12 per hour, to then shifting it to being like, you know what, my time, my energy is actually worth whatever your high ticket offer is, £5,000 per hour, because I put in the same amount of time, put in the same amount of energy, but I'm providing so much more value because of this thing that I've created, whether that's a product that you've created yourself, or like what we do, which is affiliate marketing. You work with a product that already has created that value. As long as you can see the value in it yourself, then there's absolutely no reason why other people wouldn't see it too. So it's just that shift of mindset, actually not anything to do with money. It's really to do with self-worth. It's how can I be worth accepting that amount of money?
Absolutely.
That's the shift people struggle with.
Oh yeah, it's hard. I can tell you, because when I do workshops in United Kingdom, all over the world actually, I ask the people, okay, how much money would you like to make a month? And you should be shocked what the answers the people, they're telling you: 3,000, 5,000, 7,000. And I'm talking to them and I say, look, I'm just asking. You can say 1,000,000 if you want. It's just a question. So you can see how the limiting belief is already embedded in the mindset of everyone out there. But even for me, you see, I got to start. Today I have I have one pro that I charge $250,000 for it. However, it was not easy, this process, right? To go from 2,000 to 10,000 to 50,000 to 100,000 to $250,000 is a growing process that had to become within you. It didn't come naturally, and I did have to work a lot on myself in order to have those type of products with this, and charge this amount, because sometimes there is this imposter syndrome or internal conversation with the entrepreneur that even if you work more, you have this blockage in your mind. It's all about mindset, that how I'm gonna charge that much for this product and services. So this has been for me a self-discovery process that have taken years. How it didn't happen overnight. I'm very happy that finally I'm happy and comfortable with it. but
Good.
I did resist it to eat a lot. I have to tell you. Yeah?
Can I ask you, when you like way back before you started making high ticket sales and offers and income, and you were working a job, or you were just before you were into this thing, did it help when you saw someone else who was kind of similar to you when they said, I earn £3,000 per sale or per day? Did that make you realize, like, oh shit, okay, if I'm setting my goal as £3,000 per month, but this guy's making £3,000 per day or per sale, if he can do it or she can do it, why can't I? Like, did
Absolutely.
that give the
Yeah.
shift?
Yeah. We have uh, our marketing coach actually in Wembley. Just to give you an idea, he makes almost 1 million in 90 minutes. Yeah,
Yeah.
out of the presentation, and we did. His name is Amma Morin. We hang around with him a lot. Um, However, still you have this internal conversation. Yeah, he can do it because he's a genius, but I'm
Mm,
not a genius. That's why he can do it and I cannot do it. And then,
mm,
regardless that Amma is telling you you can do it as well, is possible for everyone. Have nothing to do that I'm a big shot and I'm very famous. It's just working in this, but again, it takes a lot of personal development, a lot of work on your mindset, and I think that all entrepreneurs at some point, it has this there is gonna be whatever the barrier is in your mind. Could be 1,000, could be 3,000, could be 10,000. It's gonna reach the time for you as an entrepreneur that you're gonna start to feeling, well, I cannot charge more than that. And when you
yeah.
start to see this resistance, um, you have to start to work on yourself in terms of personal development, mindset. So, Chris, so what you did in order to eliminate these barriers, so for you to become more and more and more comfortable um, working with this type of figures and accepting that you deserve to get paid a lot of money, which is something
Mm,
that looks silly, but a lot of people, entrepreneurs, sometimes even they start to receive a lot of money and they become uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable in one of my first business, the property one. One day I arrived to the office and my employees told me, Harry, we don't need you anymore. Go home. So there I
mm,
was at home making a lot of money doing nothing, and I was really uncomfortable, so much uncomfortable that I took the money, I opened a restaurant in Brick Lane, and I
nice.
lost 200,000 pounds, and it was a total disaster. That's how
Wow.
uncomfortable. So a lot of people talk about how to deal with failure, and very little people talk how to deal with success. But
Yeah.
sometimes, if you're uncomfortable with receiving, you can even, without knowing, sabotage yourself, if that makes
Mm.
sense.
That makes sense, yeah. And the way I see it is that we all have like an internal thermostat around lots of different areas of our life. But let's take finances, for example. We have a thermostat around our finances and what feels comfortable. So I always ask people the question, if you made £100,000 tomorrow, what would you do with it? And straight away they all give me these answers, and the answers usually are, oh, well, I'd invest it into this, and I would buy this, and I'd buy a house for my mum, and I'd retire my dad, or whatever. They're usually getting rid of this money quickly. And I say to them, like, the reason you're getting rid of that money straight away is because you haven't reset your thermostat. So your thermostat is probably currently set to like what most people's is, which is 3 grand a month. So most people don't have hardly any savings in their bank account, or if they do, they've got maybe 3 to 5 to, if they're lucky, 10 grand. So their thermostat is constantly stuck at 10 grand. And if they get over that, straight away they're buying
They
things
find.
like, yeah, like what you've done with the restaurant, because you don't feel comfortable holding that money. You don't feel comfortable
Absolutely.
being someone who's got 100 grand in their bank account. So what people actually need to do is get comfortable being a person who can hold that amount of wealth, reset your thermostat, and then sit there for a while until it feels normal. Then you can start investing. Then you can start doing things.
Absolutely.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.